Okay, we're here back from our commercial break. Let's finish up the Bachelorette's situation recap. On a side note, the Bachelorette obviously got swept yesterday, so they're 0-6, and NRJ was a stellar 0-5 yesterday. So the big bet that's going around the league, it's still tied at 0. So
we did play 4 outfielders against him because we know he goes for homers, and that happens to be hit a ball that would have been into the gap for probably a triple or even a home run, but Elliot Harari made a catch on the line drive, so he's still on the 0 for skid.
I guess we'll get to that when we get to our game, but when I hit the ball off the bat, my entire bench jumped up. Everyone thought it was a gapper, and he made a tremendous play, unfortunately for me.
And actually, we might add that Memorial 3 was the site of your last career YMSL hit in 2006.
In my last career at bat until this year.
But however, yesterday there was outfielders, so it was a different situation.
I gotta tell you something, Bobby. This is a hot topic. This NRJ versus Bachelorettes. I went to visit my friend Chucky Abadi, the optometrist, today. I'm hitting 300 points less than last year, so it could be an eyesight issue. So I went to visit Chucky, and on my way out in front of the whole waiting room, he says, "Did NRJ get a hit?" And no one knows who NRJ is, and all these people don't know what's happening. And I said, I don't think so. He goes, also, the Bachelorettes and NRJ are still tied, and the people in the waiting room thought I was nuts. And he was nuts, and then he's good, then he says, "Okay, who's next?" And they're like, "You're next." Nobody wanted to go into the room. But, he says him and his wife are actually watching the show every week.
This upcoming Sunday, I play a different team, but then in 2 weeks, if I'm still hitless and they're still winless...
It's going to be a ratings bonanza. I'm telling you that, man.
Wow. He played Norman versus the Bachelorettes in 2 weeks.
I went to Chucky for glasses maybe 10, 11 years ago. I don't remember how long ago it was. And I swing and I miss. And you have the glasses on, the ball is here. You take the glasses off, the ball is here. So I asked Chucky, which way is it really? Is the ball here with the glasses, or is it here without the? He didn't know. So I lost the glasses.
And now you know why you haven't batted since. Okay, so we'll just clear that point up. Red, did you come here for the show or to eat those crackers?
Everyone knows these are my favorites.
You have to see the boys behind the camera squirming. Ricky's losing money by he can't even hit. He wants Red off the show.
He's getting a bill for this one. I mean, he came for a free beer.
$1.
So
back to the Bachelorettes. Again, as predicted by everybody and their mother, they're not going to win a game.
Oh, no, I think they're going to win a game.
Whoa!
They have 5 more weeks. 2, 4, 6. 5 more weeks. They should win 1 or 2 games. So, and that could hurt a team that's going to make it.
Are you saying now on the air that the Bachelorettes are going to win a ball game this season?
Yes.
You heard it here.
I definitely
heard it here.
They will.
I definitely believe they're going to win a game. There's no doubt about it. They might not cover the over/under, but they will win a game or 2 in the next 2 weeks. I would say.
Yeah.
So, which means it's up. Who's it next week?
Well, in 2 weeks they play Maurice's Pieces, and they're not going to beat us.
Well, Jeffrey Sack has taken off that one. He's counting that as 2 wins.
Right.
So, but with the return of Edward Cohen and the acquisition of Edmund Dweck, they are gaining confidence by the minute. They're going to win you heard it here. However, the big question is, NRJ going to hit in the next 2 weeks?
I know, that we can't guarantee.
They may walk you every time up,
That's true.
Well, speaking of walking people, the Maurice's Pieces team yesterday who swept Douglas Dweck's team.
Are we up to that game?
Yes, we are.
This is called a segue. The team that swept Douglas Dweck's team.
You have something to show.
Speaking of walking, we intentionally, the good old-fashioned intentional walk, hammering Hank got 4 walks in 1 game to bring up Douglas Dweck.
Wow.
Following last week's walking on Eddie Michon a bunch of times.
Exactly. Douglas Dweck made the biggest out of the ball game when you guys were coming back. Yeah, bases loaded in the first game. And Dougie made a few big outs. And I'm happy to say that I brought my broom today. And that we were able to sweep, as I predicted, on the air last week at this time.
Wow.
Yep.
So what do you have to say about that?
But then in the second game, you wanted no Reese's Pieces of me. So you walked me, to pitch to Michael Richty.
Walk
To pitch to Michael Richty with first base open. And I got to tell you something about that also. NRJ, my buddy over here, Michael Richty's at-bat before that last at-bat, foul-tipped the ball, and he did some kind of acrobats to knock the ball up in the air and barehanded it. And who knows if Michael was thinking about that strikeout, because he took the last pitch for a strike, the next at-bat, and struck out again with first and second. So
Jeffrey
his
Sacker,
walks are paying off.
we got to check the books. Jeffrey Sacker had maybe 5 or 6 strikeouts yesterday. He is pitching unbelievable.
Another 2.
Yeah, when he comes.
When he comes, he's pitching great. And by the way, the situation beat us in week 1. They swept us, but we didn't have Jeffrey Sacker then.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Sacker in 4 games. There was 1 game he gave up 5 runs. In the other games, he gave up 0, 1, and 2.
Right.
So
right.
he's
He said he was
out of his mind.
He said he was only going to come to like batting practice of 1 game or something like that all year, and he's been there, a lot of games. So
Well, when you have a clubhouse like ours,
he'll take off the.
However, regarding
Yeah, we
Maurice's
forget the
pieces,
Dashless.
the offense has still not found itself, and Captain Maurice Haber, an unprecedented NRJ average of 1 for 19 on the year.
Wow.
I'll sign to that any day.
Yes, it is.
1 for 19.
Lack
I
of
gotta
hitting
tell
is
you.
contagious on that team.
Doug, you could attest.
And he's one of the best.
Maurice yesterday had 2 or 3 shots.
I would say, yeah.
100% would have been hits.
They were absolute robs in the outfield.
2 of them were
3 of
diving
them
catches.
diving like this close to the grass, shooting screen catches.
He's really getting bad luck. Unlike me, who just can't hit, he actually can hit, and he's just getting very tough luck. But the numbers don't lie. He's 1 for 19, and as soon as he turns it around, that's beware to the rest of the
And
league.
you're 4-2 with him hitting 1 for 19.
Exactly. So the rest of the league can watch out if
Once he starts
sluggers
carrying
like me
up,
and him start hitting.
he's definitely going to get hot before the year ends, and I'm sure the rest of the offense is going to pick up the pieces, no pun intended.
The key from that game, of course, was Steven Safdie, 2 home runs in his first 2 at-bats yesterday.
Monster home runs, by the way. Almost went over the fence at Memorial 3. And
So we should get into those games. We're in, leading up to that. So we'll talk about game 1.
Okay.
8-0 after 3 innings.
Cool.
Maurice's pieces. There were a couple of home runs from Steven. I know Eddie Richty had one. I don't know if it was in the second game or the first.
Eddie Richty was in the first game.
The first game as well. So they were up 8-0. And then we decided to play 4 outfielders because they were just hitting every gap, and it was pretty windy blowing out to the outfield.
Right, and that's when I would have actually gotten my hit, and suddenly they were playing 4 outfielders. So I don't know what that 4th outfielder was doing there. But you guys mounted a little bit of a comeback.
We mounted a comeback. A.B. Sacker was up with bases loaded. It was actually 3-0 count, then 3-1, and he grounded out to short. He was the tying run at the plate, so we ended up losing 9-5 that game.
Right.
Game 2, you were up 2-0. We cut it to 2-1, and then we had bases loaded, 3-0 pitch to a 3-2 pitch actually to Mikey Shalom with the bases loaded and 1 out.
Wow.
I believe that was the 5th inning. Bases loaded, 1 out, and he hit a ground ball to Jordy, who stepped on third and got the double play out at first, throwing to first.
Now, something about Mikey Shalom is, as predicted here before the season, I said that you guys could lose Mikey Shalom if you don't give him enough ABs and if you don't let him play the field. And sure enough, you succeeded in losing him. I saw him after the game, and he was saying that he would accept a trade. He would get rid of his no-trade clause, waive the clause, to go to the eligible bachelors. He thinks he could pitch for them. He has pitched in high school for Hillel in the past. And he wants off your team due to lack of playing time.
And then he could come back to haunt us the last week of the season.
I think he can, and I think he will if you trade him.
Wow. I mean, they're actually... You're probably not going to hear that for a while. Somebody volunteering to go to the
Isn't the trading
Bachelorettes. No, actually, it's this
deadline?
week, the trading deadline. So maybe you could work something out. What would you want in return from the Bachelorettes?
Not much.
I don't know. I would say they don't have anything. So I really don't know.
And also the co-captainship between Hank and Douglas.
All right, right now we need to go
all right, we'll pick it up next
break for my
segment.
sponsors, and we'll get back to... What was it down to?